The text Little Women by Greta Gerwig focuses on a group of four sisters facing the societal pressures of 19th century America as white women. Whenever we chose this text, we realized that we couldn't generalize the statement women, but instead had to specify that we were talking about white women in 19th century America, because obviously a black woman's experience in 19th century America would be very different than a white woman's. The main idea that we had from this text is that the structure in the film Little Women by Greta Gerwig represents the desires held by white women in 19th century America to break free from societal pressures and develop their own lifestyles. However, this representation shows this task to almost be unachievable due to how heavy such pressures weigh on these women. Within the text, each of the sisters has a passion that they are interested in and want to pursue. Jo, for example, wants to become a successful writer. Amy wants to become an artist and live a life in the upper class. Meg wants to find love, not just based on wealth. And Beth just wants to see everyone happy, I think. So, some examples that we found within the text that really support our thesis are: Jo questions if she made the right decision after declining Lori's marriage proposal due to the societal pressure for white women of 19th century America to be married. Women during this time period were expected to get married, be a housekeeper, a housewife, and really not maintain a career for themselves or really put themselves out there to establish a name for themselves outside of their husband. They also depended on their husband for the financial security of their household. That's why there's such a pressure within the text for all of the girls to find a wealthy husband and get married. And when one girl or one sister doesn't meet this expectation, the standard is thrown onto the next sister to try and meet these marks. And once Jo endures a tragic event like her sister dying, she wonders if she should have just went ahead and got married to Lori and disregarded her passions and ignored her interest in order to fit these expectations so she wouldn't feel such embarrassment from her family. Because during this scene, she's obviously very vulnerable. Another example is Amy's own desire to participate in activities that would allow her to feel a sense of upper-class importance, cause her to sabotage her own sister's happiness because she does not receive her own, thus showing how heavy the weight is on these women. During this scene, Jo has denied Amy the opportunity to attend a upper-class play that would allow her to feel a sense of worth, importance, because, as we discussed, class was not entirely based on wealth. It was also pertaining to activities that someone in the upper class or someone who was wealthy might participate in. So if Amy had the opportunity to go to this play, she would have felt of that social class importance. So whenever Jo denies her the right to go to this play, she obviously becomes upset and is willing to sacrifice her sister's interest just because she was unable to receive her own interest, which shows how heavy these pressures are for women to want to fit in and meet these expectations despite how limiting they are. Another example is Meg makes decisions based off her own happiness after realizing how unhappy she would be if she molded herself to fit society's expectations, yet she is still judged for these decisions. Here, Meg has experienced what life would be like as an upper middle class white woman in 19th century America, and she realizes that it's really not her thing. She feels outside of herself. So she decides to base her decisions around her own happiness and find love despite the expectation of her to marry rich. However, even though she is somewhat happy besides the financial insecurity, she is still judged for these decisions despite doing what she really wanted to, which shows that the societal pressures are more important than what these women wanted.